Right, now safety is going to be a big issue here. I can't stress it enough that you have to make a constant risk analysis to prevent anything from happening, or when it happens, that you prepare yourself for the worst and you make sure that you stay safe, at least you stay safe. Now, about safety, let's talk about making a pit down. Because what are the hazards when you dig down? Or make a little shovel too. So you're digging down. Now, what can happen is this. The ground breaks, and eventually it's gonna slide down. In that case, the safety for you when you're digging is that your head stays about no more than, say here, about 40 centimeters up to 1 meter, depending, estimating if this would be 1 meter. If this was 1 meter, and you can stay easily 40 centimeters under it, because it's gonna slide down in a cone shape. It's gonna slide down like this. So even when you're trapped with your body, your head is still above it. And you can still scream for help. You can still, normally your arms will also be on top of you, because when something happens, you're always protecting your face. So your hands will be above it, and that way you pull yourself out. Now that's situation one that can happen when you're digging a well. Now, if, as I was saying before, if this happens and it breaks here, usually it would be because this ground is compact, and at this level you're gonna deal with some sandy like structure. So that's why this situation might happen. Now, a more common thing would be that the top crumbles. Now, if the top crumbles, it's gonna go also in a downward spiral. So it's not gonna be like it slides down. It's gonna be that this block would tip down like this. And this block would tip down like this. Again, in the same situation, you're still gonna be safe if you respect that distance. As soon as you go deeper, what's gonna be your main safety issue? Let me just redraw that one. As soon as you start to get deeper with your head, the best thing you can do is fortify the walls. Now, if you put planks here and put planks there, eventually you can make sure that you can actually make your pattern. Measure your wall, make sure that everything is straight. Make a pattern like that for the two sides on the x-axis. Sorry, I tried to draw, but I'm not that good. And then you make sure that you crook in or jam in a bar, and then you try to hit it straight so there's tension. Now, to make it in a different profile, say that this is your well, or your pit, sorry, I'm saying a well. Say this is your pit, and this one is right here. The other one is right there. Now, what you're gonna do is, you're gonna measure the distance and make it slightly bigger, not much, slightly bigger, so that it already jams at this position. Then with the hammer you're gonna knock it right in there so that there's tension. The same thing you're gonna do on the other side. You're gonna knock it in right there, and you do it right here, right there. Then you're not gonna fear any collapse. Now, you can use for these ones, you can use some tinder wood, some fine boards. To jam it up, you better use some thicker logs, where you can actually use some force, try to hit it in place. Now eventually, when you're deep enough where you're gonna meet up with groundwater, that's also a hazard. Why? Because depending on the type of soil you have right there, but most likely it's gonna be spongy like soil. As soon as you start to see the blue color, the blue grayish color of the soil, that's usually where you will find groundwater. Now in a later video about soil, I will explain why it's blue and how you can recognize the soil. Anyway, as soon as you're gonna hit the ground level here, and you're gonna deal with the groundwater, and you're gonna pump it away. And you're gonna pump it away so that the level gets here. At a certain point, you're gonna hollow out your structure because it's gonna collapse and erode. And at a certain time, you will be in this situation where the groundwater actually is also taking away your structure of the well or in your tunnel where you have this. So that's my advice, to stay just above groundwater level so you don't have to deal with that. If that's the case, the best thing you can do, I'm not at that position yet, but the best thing you can do is say that you're going deeper in groundwater. Say like here. Now, because it's the water rises slow, it's not going to flood straight away. I would look to brick this up with fast cement. Well, actually, first I'm gonna pour or brick. I'm not sure yet what I'm gonna do, but make sure that with some fast cement that dries in 15 minutes, I'm gonna make my layer here. So it's gonna take a while before the water is gonna push through. It's gonna go very slowly, very gradually. And the plus about using fast cement is that you already need water to make it dry, and despite the water, it's gonna dry in a fast pace either way. So if you're gonna do that and you're gonna brick it up using fast cement, you might still have a moist problem, but it's not going to penetrate like it did before with the previous simulation. So in that case, you still have a solid structure without worrying about the water infiltration and the erosion of your tunnel.